Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to anyone who's new here. So today's reading, again, it's going to be for anyone, just anyone who needs the message, anybody who's been praying, hoping, wishing, asking for guidance. The messages are for May. These are the oracle decks I'm going to be using. So we're going to start off with a message from the Sacred Destiny deck first of all. And just a heads up, so we've got a full moon. This is being recorded on the 22nd, I think, 22nd of May. We've got a full moon tomorrow, full moon in Sagittarius. So, you know, that may play into things, or you may want to look at that and see what house is happening for you. Also, there's quite a bit going on with Jupiter and Venus this week. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to really get into it, but just a heads up with that if you want to look into what Jupiter and Venus are doing in your own birth chart as well at this moment in time, you know, what's going on, which houses it's in, etc. And we're also in Gemini season now as well. So let's get the message out. So it's non-zodiac sign specific, just for anyone who needs guidance, who needs a message, or just wants to know what's going on. So what do we need to know? You've got 2 so far. You've got truth, which we'll put that here. And you also have flexibility, if you can see that. I feel like everything is a bit blurred and glary today, but okay. So I will read these from the book. It is blurred, isn't it? I will read them from the book. I'm just going to get the tarot cards out for the reading first. So let's get the spread out and then we'll see what this is about. So the main focal point, wow, Page of Swords and Truth. Why am I not surprised that that's come out? Your energy, how are you dealing with things? You've got the Star. So this is, with that star there, this is almost making me think of someone sort of wishing, praying, hoping for information to come through. Whether it is, 2 things are coming to mind, whether it is that you're trying to figure something out specifically. You know, like say if you're doing shadow work and you're trying to figure something out and you're sort of hoping for truth or information to come in that way. It could also be literally a particular situation. Easy situation to give an example of is a relationship, you know, a romantic relationship. You're trying to figure out the status of the relationship, the other person's intentions, you know, that sort of thing. Let's get any external energies, whether it is the person, situation, etc. Right, that is very interesting. So for some, it really could be about a person. It could be about wanting to know how the person feels. And because the Page of Cups and the King of Cups is there, it's kind of like a progression or a need for maturity, something to that effect. Possibly a need for emotional maturity, and that's bringing me to the flexibility here. But we'll see how that progresses. Just move these over a little bit because they are rather close to those. They don't need to be that close to that, do they? Let's get the past energies around this particular situation. So we've got the 4 of Pentacles. Present current energy. What do we have? We have the 3 of Cups. Potential future energy. My setup is a bit different today. I'm in a different room and I feel like the camera is way too far from the cards, but I'm not going to change everything now, so we'll just have to live with it. Hopefully you can see things clearly. I mean, it's good because I've got a little bit more space, but yeah, I'm not keen on how far the camera is from the cards because it defeats the purpose of having it in this position. The point is for you to see everything clearly. So right, so potential future energy. Yep. Okay, I was asking myself then because I was talking, do we need to keep this? And it's, yeah, the answer is yeah. Oh, interestingly, the Six of Wands tried to come out as well. It was on my wrist. For some reason, the cards always flip and end up on my wrist. But it was face down, and it is the Six of Wands. So Six of Wands, Nine of Cups together. That's quite a pleasant, as a potential future. I always say potential. It's a pleasant outcome, isn't it, really? Let's get you a card of advice as well. Right, that was really dramatic and interesting how it falls directly on the card that represents you. We've got the High Priestess here. And I did say at the beginning something about like wishing, hoping, praying for information to come out. The fact that the High Priestess is on top of that Star card, as annoying as it can be, it probably means that you already have an inkling of what's going on. So I mean, obviously with shadow work, if you're looking for answers, the answer is within you, isn't it? That's kind of a given. It's just bringing it out or seeing things clearly. If it is relating to a connection with someone else, I would say it's about gut feelings, isn't it? You know, like if you're where you have gut feelings about how someone feels about you, and obviously it's the best thing to do is try and talk to them and get them to open up and speak honestly with you. But you know, sometimes you have gut feelings about people, and it can go both ways. Like it could be a gut feeling that where you're involved with someone and you feel like they're not serious, or they've got other people on the side or something like that. It could be a gut feeling about that. On the other hand, it could be that you are interested in someone romantically. You haven't, neither one of you may have communicated it, but you may have an inkling that there's something there, that there's a spark there, and it's just a case of whether or you decide to do something about it or not, or whether they approach you, you know, that kind of thing. So let's move these down a little bit. I swear this camera angle is a bit weird for me today, but we'll work with it. So let's bring these down. I can live with that. So let's read, first of all, the truth message. And I don't know if I said it at the beginning, I probably didn't, but I just wanted to thank everyone who supports the channel. Just putting that out there. So truth, first of all. So it says, Song of the Wind. Wind is in the realm of the air elements, which we are Gemini season. And actually Gemini is it's a very talkative, communicative sign, isn't it? So shouldn't really be surprised there with that that energy coming out. So it's one of the four elements of life: air, water, fire, and earth. Air takes form in the oxygen we breathe, as well as in breezes and zephyrs. It also represents our communication skills. When we speak, it is the air that passes through our mouths that allows us to speak and communicate. Wind is also prana, the source of life. As you communicate your truth to yourself and others, you'll find new energy and vitality emerging within your life. The sacred landscape wants you to know, be honest with yourself and speak from your heart. Find your truth, listen for what is sincere and honest in others. One of the most difficult things to know is what's true for you and what isn't. Sometimes it takes sincere silence to find your inner voice of truth, but once you find it, let go of anything in your life that isn't authentic. Share your truth with others, release relationships in which you can't be yourself and can't be real. Being genuine can allow your spirit to fly and the song of your soul to be heard in the universe. Okay, so we'll look at the flexibility message here next as well. So it says bamboo in the wind. And you know what, strangely, I've had this deck for years, Sacred Destiny deck for years, and I've never paid attention to these titles. Like obviously I know like what the card is and then the message underneath, but I've never paid attention to these titles, so I don't know why all of a sudden I'm paying attention to it today. So I can see I've blurred that now, haven't I? Okay. So bamboo in the wind. The symbolism of bamboo runs deep. Whereas many larger, seemingly stronger trees will break in high winds, bamboo simply bends and sways. Its flexibility Wind is a big theme here for some reason, and the air season. But anyway, its flexibility allows it to survive and even thrive while other species suffer. Even during a hard winter when its branches are laden with snow, bamboo doesn't break. It snaps back when the snow melts in the spring. It also has a strong root system so that even during great storms it survives. Additionally, it is often a symbol of abundance because of its rapid growth. Its upward, verdant, constant growth is used as a metaphor for the fulfilling rise of prosperity. And it says, the sacred landscape wants you to know the meaning of this card is rich and varied. It cautions you to be flexible in your life, be willing to bend and yield. There are times to stand strong. I'm getting a funny thought in my head. Well, it's not funny. There are times to stand strong, but there are also times to go around a situation rather than face it head on. This card suggests being amenable to change. It is also a fantastic card for abundance and prosperity, and it suggests that if you are flexible, prosperity can and will come your way in all areas. Additionally, it suggests that a time of rapid growth is ahead. Don't resist it. The time is right for this surge of spiritual growth to occur. I have got so many thoughts in my head right now. I don't think I'm going to remember every little message that I got from this message, but I will do my best. So when I had that little laugh, it's actually not funny, so I don't know why I'm laughing about it. It's a nervous laugh, I guess. The one thing that stood out is if... God, I can't even get it out now. I think it was to do with expectations in relationships, whether it is romantic or otherwise. The thought has literally halfway gone out of my head now. I think it was kind of, and I've said this in the reading that I did, it was a week or two ago, about butting heads with someone. I don't know if I mentioned it as in the same way in terms of expectations of people, but there is something here about butting heads and that whole thing which triggers the hell out of me. This whole thing about submission. Like how people might say that the feminine needs to submit to the masculine, which triggers me big time, because why is anybody submitting to anybody? Aren't you supposed to treat people as equally valuable? But anyway, so something like that came to mind, and I'm not 100% sure what that could mean for someone, but there was a little message with that about submission, and I don't know, it could be for someone where someone could be a little bit too defensive. That could be a message for someone out there. Someone might be a bit too defensive, and this is where the flexibility is needed. Like maybe there needs to be a heart-to-heart, honest conversation where, say if you have a partner, friend, whatever, where they are triggering you in some way, shape or form, or it could even be vice versa. Maybe you're triggering them and they're acting funny with you and you don't know why. There needs to be an honest conversation to get everything out into the open and to kind of consolidate, resolve, come to some sort of agreement or compromise or something within that particular situation. That's where truth and flexibility would come in. I've lost every other thought now about this. Okay, flexibility, truth again. It could be, again, say, for example, the whole shadow work thing, or if there's some sort of life path you want to pursue. The truth of the situation or how you pursue that path or whatever's going on, it may require you to be flexible. Like you may have had a pretty rigid idea in your head of how you deal with things, how you follow the path you want to follow. And once the truth hits you or you acknowledge the truth, it's like, oh, actually, I can't really do it that way. I've got to do it a different way, or, something like that. I think those were the two main thoughts that popped in. There was other stuff, but those were the two main ones. So now I'm going to clarify. I've talked enough. So let's start off with that Page of Swords first and see what comes up for that. Why is the Page of Swords here, please? And you may have noticed if you've seen my other videos that you can't see my hands shuffling. I'm not trying to hide anything. It's just, to be frank, it's more comfortable. I'm sitting on the floor, comfortable, and that's what feels comfortable to me. It feels more comfortable than sitting at a desk with my hands under the camera trying to show everyone what I'm doing. So yeah. So Page of Swords. The first one we have is the Hermit. What else do we need to know? We have the Queen of Wands. I'm kind of expecting the Five of Swords to come out, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. You've got the Ace of Swords. You've got a lot of communication related cards, and that air energy is strong. I think it's the Gemini season must be having a massive impact, because you've got the Hermit, which is, it's Virgo, but it's Mercury as well, the planet Mercury, which is a card of communication. Two of Swords, it's kind of blocked communication. Ace of Swords is, again, it's communication, but it's more so clarity. Boundaries is coming to mind with that as well, possibly for someone. Let's get one more. The Queen of Swords as a person, she would openly communicate. Like she's not really gonna hold back, is she? And I think when she came out, a thought again that came to my head is that thing that I was saying about, so if someone is particularly defensive or triggered or something, that you only speak bluntly, but it might be a little bit too bluntly, and it just rubs people up the wrong way. Or even in just one conversation, you might usually be a pretty calm person and you just blurt out something that's been pissing you off for ages, and it just comes out blunt and burns someone. Yeah, that's coming to mind here. But let's get one more for that Page of Swords. And you have Justice. Okay. So just bear with me while I take the cards in. So the Hermit, first of all, it's kind of figuring out the truth. I'd said that before. That's the element of figuring out the truth, or trying to get to the bottom of the truth. The Two of Swords in the middle, it can be the whole two truths thing. It can be blocked communication, but it can be the whole two truths thing as well. I think overall that Page of Swords, for the most part, is about figuring out the truth, or getting to the bottom of the truth, of what the truth is. Yeah, I think that's what it is for the most part. Where you have the Ace of Swords and Justice, the word integrity, I know it's a word I use quite often, but the words integrity comes to mind. So whatever is going on with this truth, there's a need for integrity here as well with it. I'll leave that there. I'm not going to spend ages on that one card. Let's look at the Star as your energy. So I get a vibe of positive intentions with that Star for a start. I'm just looking because I feel like everything's blurred, because that's what happens when the camera's far away. It feels like everything's blurred, whether it is or it isn't. Yeah, let's look at the Star. The word resolve is in my head. Resolve. God, the cards are aggressive today. Which way? Yeah. Right, Ace of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. I felt that Five of Swords. I thought it was going to come out for the Page of Swords, but I did feel that Five of Swords somewhere. I'm still getting resolve. With the Star, for me, it is, again, it's a desire or a hope to resolve something. Again, whether it is a person, where the King of Pentacles, it could be a person who you feel is not doing what they should be doing, not as mature as they should be. There's a phrase that I want to say, but it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not flaky, but it's something like flaky, and I can't, like copping out or something with that Seven of Swords there, and next to the King of Pentacles. It's almost like someone copping out, potentially copping out of an opportunity. So that could be your energy again if you're doing shadow work or trying to follow a particular path, and you're trying to figure out what the truth or the reality of the best way to do things. It could be that so far you've kind of, I don't want to say, well, for some it could be you've literally copped out, but it could be more like avoidance, because you feel like the way, the best way, you may feel that no, there's just something that's not right about that. I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it a different way. So that's where the whole possible sort of avoidance or cupping out energy could be. Again, it could be another person where you feel like they're not living up to whatever it is that you expect of them or what they should be doing here with these cards. And it's a struggle with that Nine of Wands, so I can see why the word resolve has come to mind. So I will leave that there. And we'll go on to the Page of Cups and King of Cups. I'm intrigued by this, so let's see what comes up for it. So Page of Cups, King of Cups. That's external energy, and I'm going to take that. I pretty much feel that's a person. Sometimes for me it's just a situation. It can be a group of people, but let's see. Why is the Page of Cups there with the King of Cups, please? Right, we've got the Five of Wands. We have the Tower. What else do we need to know for this? We have the Sun. You've got Judgment. And just one more for that. You have the Seven of Cups and the Hierophant. And I am going to just clarify the Hierophant on its own. I don't know what it is with me. I've got a weird relationship with the Hierophant. So I'm going to clarify it on its own just to make sure. I just get this weird thought. Well, not weird. I don't know why I get a thought with this Page of Cups and King of Cups that someone's kind of getting kicked up the arse in a way. Possibly to kind of grow up. Maybe emotionally. Let's look at the Hierophant. Okay, so this kind of wanted to come out the Chariot, but let me try that again because it didn't come. There you go. That came out properly. The Hierophant, the Five of Pentacles. The Empress in reverse. So the words that are coming to mind with the higher stuff and the Hierophant is about somebody rejecting what they've been, or a need for someone to reject what they've been taught. Mainly because of that Five of Pentacles there. There's one more. So we've got the Six of Wands and the Nine of Swords. They've kind of come up half reversed, if that makes sense. So they were like at that angle when they fell out. I'm going to take them upright. There's something here with this Hierophant about someone needing to reject what they've been taught, or they are rejecting something about what they've been taught. With the Empress being there in reverse, for me, that is an energy of holding back. Because, I mean, obviously the energy, the Empress can relate to abundance, attraction, that sort of thing. But with her in reverse, it's almost rejecting her as well. So one way of putting it would be, it's like a need for someone to reject whatever rules they've been taught, possibly rigid rules that they've been taught, because by doing that they're kind of rejecting abundance, whether the abundance is pursuing a certain path you want, pursuing a certain person that you want. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but that's the only way I can put it. Like, say for example, in a romantic relationship, if you grew up in a family or a culture where you were taught that this is the type of person that you should choose as your partner, But for you, you don't click with that. That doesn't match with you. That you don't genuinely feel attracted or intrigued or curious about that type of person. There might be another type of person that you feel more drawn to. And it's like you might be, I mean, we've got conflict with that Five of Wands. There might be a bit of inner conflict where somebody, say if somebody was attracted to someone who's completely different from anyone in their family or anyone they've ever known, and they're like, oh, I really feel a connection with that person. But on the other hand, I've grown up thinking that that type of person is completely wrong for me, blah, blah, blah. So that's one way of looking at things. As again, abundance, if it's not a relationship, it can be the path that you choose to pursue. It can even be rejecting a certain side of yourself, like the what is the Empress? She's to do with beauty, she's to do with nurturing, femininity, that sort of femininity is a softer, in general, it is a softer energy. That doesn't mean that femininity, there can't be strength in femininity, but it is a softer energy than masculine, isn't it? So, okay, let me look at the other cards because I've given all of my attention to the Hierophant at the end there. But yeah, that feels like some sort of rejection. There's confusion. There's definitely a bit of confusion going on here. With the Five of Wands, the Seven of Cups. Even with the Judgment card, there's a rejection feeling with that as well, because Judgment, it can be a second chance to do something. It can be reviewing the past as well, and it's like in reverse, so it's almost like try a bit of avoidance there again, that avoidance. Let me just get something for the Tower on its own. So where I say it's like someone's been kicked up the arse here, I mean, you've got the Five of Wands, which is conflict. You've got the Tower, that's going to kick anybody up the arse. And then you've got the Sun there. With those cards, with those three, it's almost like, you know, when something comes to, you figure something out or learn something or see something and you can't unsee it. You can't unknow it. Let me get something for the Tower, and I'll probably get something for the Sun as well, just to make sure. So we've got the Three of Cups. Seven, yeah, that makes sense. Seven of Wands, Nine of Cups, the Moon. So for this, I'm going to say person, they may have had a sudden, however this has come about, because it's a Tower, so that's usually a massive kick up the arse, isn't it? They may have come to some sort of realization about what support and standing up for something truly means. Whether it is involving people in their life, they sort of come to the realization of who's genuinely supportive, or what genuine support looks like in terms of how people show up, how people stand up for you. I mean, obviously we're meant to stand up for ourselves first, but you know, you want people to have your back, don't you? There's something there around that. That's one way of looking at things. It can be their own behavior as well. They may have had a sudden realization about their own behavior in terms of being supportive, being genuine, being authentic, standing up for things, standing up for what really makes them happy, standing up for how they really feel. Because the Sun brings, it's illumination, isn't it? You've got the Tower and the Sun next to each other. So for me, that is a kick up the arse of enlightenment. Let's see the Sun. Four of Swords. Temperance. That's a really healing energy. So whatever's illuminated here. That was really dramatic, wasn't it? And then Strength. That is a very healing energy. Whatever's been illuminated, it's almost like this person may have been enlightened in some way, shape or form. You if there's some sort of involvement, a specific involvement with another person here, whether it is romantic or non-romantic, there could be something about this person at this point in their life where someone could be going through an awakening. You could be involved with someone who's going through an awakening, and as I say, it doesn't have to be romantic. Sometimes it can be that your parents are going through an awakening, your friend, your siblings, your child even, and their behavior might be different from what you used to. And again, going back to that truth and flexibility, if you have a heart to heart with that person, as they are going through this process, if that's what resonates for you, that may help you to learn how to sort of deal with their whatever is going on, like their behavior. I'm not saying you have to let them treat you like shit. I'd never say that, but it might help you to sort of navigate your relationship. I mean, obviously when people go through awakenings as well, they can become a whole different person, can't they, really? So it might be trying to navigate who this new version of this person is. Okay. If this isn't another person necessarily, it can be, because I'd mentioned Jupiter and Venus energies. Especially with Jupiter, it can be about expansion, can't it? And this could be, as an external energy, the energy that you're being pushed, to acknowledge. So these cards, if it doesn't specifically represent someone else, it can be what you're having to face because of the energies around us, because of the astrological things that are going on at the minute. So I've spent forever on that because I was so intrigued. As I say, I think more than anything, it looks like a progression. And obviously, if you're getting your ass kicked by the tower, yeah. And to be frank, even if you're the one who's going through an awakening, if you're a different person, it's almost like you navigate things differently as well, don't you? Whether it's your relationships or situations in life, it's all change. So let's look at that Four of Pentacles, and that as a past energy, for me, that can be a bit of a rejection. Well, you could say rejection, more of a sort of holding on to the old than being open to the new. But let's look at that Four of Pentacles as a past energy. So the vibe that I get with that one phrase that's come to mind with that Three of Pentacles showing up is tried and tested, if I can say, or tried and true. So again, if you were holding on to the old ways, it's just where you kind of get stuck, where it's like, oh well, this works. This it's not broke, don't fix it, and obviously that makes sense, doesn't it? But at some point, life is about change, and we do have to grow, expand, adapt, whatever. So it can get to a point where even though that has worked and it's been working, you can get to a point of stagnancy where it's like something needs to be shaken up here. I mean, yeah, Nine of Pentacles for me, don't know why I'm doing them like that, can be it can be a comfort zone. It can be a comfort zone, and with it being in reverse, it can be a need to come out of the comfort zone, or that the comfort zone is becoming detrimental. Anything else? We've got the Star. We have the Knight, yeah. Yep. Knight of Wands. One more. Right, we got a lot more than one more, but right, Page of Pentacles in reverse, Ace of Cups in reverse as well. The Star, the Knight of Wands, that is either a desire, because both can represent desire, can't they? The Star can represent your wishes, your desires. The Knight of Wands can be about desire as well. It could be just a need or desire. I feel like the word is progress, but it's like progress, take things in a new direction, step out of the comfort zone. With that Page of Pentacles, that for me, it feels like stale energy. It can be an energy of not knowing what to do to to take things up a notch, to change things, etc., to make things more interesting even. It can be that. But the word stale specifically came to mind when that page of Pentacles came out, stale energy. And even with the Ace of Cups there, probably the right word for the Ace of Cups isn't stale, but there's something with it being in reverse where it's like you would sort of say to yourself, this isn't fulfilling anymore. It doesn't feel good anymore. And sometimes things feel absolutely shit when they're not right for us anymore. It literally does feel like absolute shit. And sometimes it's not even as dramatic as that. Sometimes it just feels stale, like literally stale. There's no growth, it's boring. And obviously sometimes life is about boredom, isn't it? It can't all be interesting and exciting all the time. But sometimes it's significantly boring, isn't it? If that makes sense. The boredom is significant. But yeah, it's just a stale energy. So as I say, it's a need with that Four of Pentacles to step out of the comfort zone. Whatever's tried and tested or tried and true, there's a need or desire to step out of that, because things might be feeling stale. Even if it's secure, it might feel stale. Three of Cups in the present energy. And I don't think I've had the word fulfilling ever come up for the Three of Cups before. It can be a card of celebration, support, etc. But as soon as I looked at it, the word fulfilling came to mind. So let's see what else comes up for that. We've got death. You've got the Emperor. Yep, stale energy again with that Four of Cups. Yeah, Eight of Cups again. A need for something just more fulfilling in general. Let me just get one for the Chariot on its own. There's a blockage there. There's a blockage. So again, going back to the truth and the flexibility, it's getting to the heart of what the blockage is, whether it is a blockage in movement, because both the Chariot and the Eight of Wands are movement, and then the Eight of Wands is a card of communication. So it's like the truth is needed to get to the heart of what is needed to move things along, to open up the lines of communication, to adapt. You know, if it's a relationship, to adapt, to navigate. And then the flexibility comes in to make the change. You bring the flexibility in to change things and do things differently. Stagnant energy with the Four of Cups. The Emperor feels, you can see it as a desire to take control, or to take the lead in a situation, to change and adapt and communicate, etc. But again, this can also be the energy of that, what was the energy? I know I said stale energy. That tried and tested, sort of a bit of stubbornness with the Emperor energy. So, and the Emperor can represent yourself, or it could be another person. It could be you being stubborn. It could be another person being stubborn. It could indicate you needing to take the lead in changing things or communicating. The death card is just the requirement for change, but the sort of end goal is just for something more fulfilling and enjoyable by the looks of it. So I'll leave that there, and we will move on to the potential future energy. I mean, Nine of Cups, who doesn't want that? It's a sense of satisfaction, isn't it? So what else do we need to know about this Nine of Cups? We've got the Lovers there in reverse, strangely. We've got the deck up. The deck is not upside down, so I don't know why they're all coming out in reverse. It's strange. The Fool. The Two of Pentacles. I feel that because the Lovers and the Fool have come up in reverse and the Two of Pentacles is there, that's about the flexibility. What else have we got? We've got the Ten of Wands. Okay. Why are they? I swear, the deck, honestly, the deck is not in reverse, so I don't know why they're all coming out reversed. Because I separate the deck in between the readings so I can put them all upright as well. I feel like this potential future energy, it's more like the advice, to be honest. In the sense that if it's sort of saying if you want to be satisfied, there is going to have to be that flexibility that's brought in, and yeah, flexibility needs to be brought in. Again, if there's something relating to a particular path that you want to pursue or thing that you want to pursue, there's kind of a need to really get to the heart of it, get to the truth of it, reassess even and review if it really feels like the something that you really want. There would be a need to be more open-minded with the Fool. The Two of Pentacles specifically just feels like flexibility, and I'm not 100%. I might get a card for that or a couple of cards for that. The Ten of Wands in reverse, that's usually where a burden needs to be dropped, whatever that is. I might get one for that as well. And then the Magician is often, it is a powerful card, isn't it? It's a card of creation, but here in reverse, that's where that's not happening. So let's look at that Two of Pentacles and Ten of Wands, just to see if we can get anything more specific with those. Hardly got any cards left in the deck now. I'm using nearly all of them. Two of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. Right, Ten of Wands. We've got the Devil, the Hanged Man, and the Knight of Cups. For some, the point is to get in your feelings, basically. To get the truth, get in your feelings, how you really feel about things. I've mentioned it in videos before about those, it could have been the last video I did, about the gut feelings and the, it was because I posted something on the community page about the 3-second rule that, I've forgotten the person's name that said it now, but it's on the community page. She's a coach, she's some sort of business coach, and I don't know why I can't remember her name because I get notifications from this person quite often. But there's the 3-second rule about, within, is it even 3? Probably quicker than that. Within 3 seconds, if something's a yes or a no. So if you get any feelings about something, you sort of know straight away whether it's something that you like or you want to do, or whether there's that feeling in you of hell no, I absolutely do not want to do this. And there's also a discernment there that's needed. Yeah, the yes and no part, that's relevant, but also, sometimes we reject things that could be good for us because of rigid beliefs or whatever it is that we have within us that hold us back. You've got that Ten of Wands there. For me, that's telling you that a burden has to let go. The Devil, it can be connected to fears, things that you feel bound to, things that hold you back. The Hanged Man can be about belief. So if there are any beliefs that hold in you back, in whatever capacity that is, whether it is about pursuing a certain path and you have certain beliefs, or a person and you feel like, I can't do that because of whatever. I don't know why the message is coming up for someone where, if you had feelings for someone and you just thought that they were completely not it's not just that they're not your type. You've got the feelings there, but you just think that person would never come anywhere near me. I'm not their type, blah, blah, blah. Obviously within reason, if they're sort of giving signs that they're just not interested at all, then, pay attention to that. But you might have an inkling that they feel the same way, and it's just fears. It's more about the fears of, oh, yeah, we're too different and they wouldn't be interested in me. Sometimes it's low self-esteem, isn't it? You just don't think you're good enough. So it can be that. What else? Yeah, so I already said getting your feelings. There's the thing about values here as well. You've got emotions there. You've got happiness, things that feel good. Queen of Pentacles for me is values, it's worth, it can be self-worth. And you've got the Ace of Wands there. That's your spark. That's things that create that spark, that inspire that spark in you, and that desire. Okay, I'm trying to find a way to summarize it that makes sense for every message that I've given, because I know I give a lot of different messages within one within one reading or one message. But it's as I say, it feels more like that potential future energy is more of a heads up that if you wanna feel satisfied at the end of this, that you do need to explore the truth, explore your feelings, and bring that flexibility in, which has just been a running theme throughout the whole reading, hasn't it? So the magician was part of that as well. Let's go to the advice, the high priestess. I mean, obviously I said at the beginning, especially the way it landed directly on top of your energy, the answers are within you, which is probably the most annoying thing anybody could ever say, but it is what it is. So the high priestess, you've got the Six of Swords. To me, that Six of Swords, it's almost running, again, that energy of running away from the truth or running away from what you know, like denial or avoidance or something. I swear these cards are so weird coming out in reverse. Right, Two of Cups. This almost goes back to what I was just saying, about that example about if you had feelings for someone but you felt that they just wouldn't, you feel that you maybe that you're not good enough. You could put it another way, but that's the easiest way I can put it. King of Cups is back. Page of Swords. Five of Cups. I'm going to get one for that King of Cups. Yeah. With that King of Cups again, and the Two of Wands again, it's about getting in your feelings to figure out and explore the truth, to be honest. I will say that that's interesting, Queen of... Yeah, that makes sense to what I was just going to say. I think what I was just going to say is definitely get in your feelings and judge your gut feelings and stuff like that. But again, be careful of once you communicate, if you have to have heart-to-heart conversations or something with someone, be careful of coming out too harsh. You've got the Queen of Swords there. She's the honest energy, isn't she? She's honest. She tells her truth. She welcomes other truths in. The King of Swords in reverse, not a good energy though, because that can be someone who is, again, I think I mentioned earlier about being too blunt, where it burns people. So just watch that if you're having to communicate with others. For me, the King of Swords in reverse as well, that can be where there's too much logic. Where you bring too much logic into things when you're trying to figure something out. Or you shut down the emotions to favour the logic instead. I don't know if I just mentioned that because of that Six of Swords coming up with the Two of Cups. Someone could be avoiding a potential relationship that could actually turn out very well, to be honest. But who knows? There's no guarantees, is there? Someone could be avoiding a relationship. It could be avoiding a romantic relationship. It could be avoiding resolving or repairing a relationship or getting to the heart of a problem in a relationship as well, because Two of Cups for me can come up as understanding, and two people have a sense of understanding between each other. In reverse, with some of the other cards that have come up, there can be an element of just avoiding dealing with certain issues, but there is emotional maturity needed here. Let me just quickly get something for that Page of Swords because it's like staring at me. Knight of Pentacles. Okay, that's flexibility. That is actually. It's it feels like it's an energy of whatever happens. If you have to have a conversation or you have to figure out a truth, it's being flexible, being teachable. Yeah, being teachable, I think, is what I was trying to say with that Knight of Pentacles as well. If there are any conversations, because I've brought it up about relationships quite a few times, romantic and non-romantic, there may be something about give and take that comes into a conversation or a relationship that needs to be addressed. Let me get one more, although there's hardly anything left in the deck now. Yeah, there might be something about give and take that comes into mind, and you may have to learn to be more flexible in terms of give and take, or someone else might, or you both might, to be honest. Okay, well, we've got the world, so that can sort of start a new chapter for things, can't it? And have a kind of like a fresh start. I'll leave that there. I'm going to get you some oracle cards out. Hope the reading makes sense. If you saw my last couple of videos, you'll know that I had a hiatus. So I'm just trying to get back into the flow of things. I'd decided this week that I definitely wanted to record something. So let's get a couple more cards of advice from the unicorns. And I've said before, I'm not really a fluffy unicorny kind of person, but I really like this deck, so... Any more advice for this reading? We have possibility. I'll get you a couple. I like getting quite a few from this one. It says, raise your standards, elevate your expectations. You have unlimited potential. And I have mentioned avoidance quite a few times here. So that's possibility. It's being open, isn't it? It is flexibility again. Anything else? Anything else? Right, I'll take this one. You have anger. Safely express your anger. Use anger as a positive force. Honor all of your emotions as sacred. So I mentioned getting into your feelings about things, but just beware of if you get into your feelings and end up burning people with the truth. You know, if you have to be honest, you have to be honest, but just beware. Let's get one more. Just one more, please. I am going to take them. You've got two more that have fallen out. You have Goddess, honor your divine feminine energy, see your inner beauty, love every part of you. And it's just reminded me of the Empress coming up. So maybe it is about, well, it says honor your divine feminine energy. So embracing that part of yourself, embracing the energy. And I think coming directly after the anger card, that could be where that comes in. About embracing that more nurturing, softer side, in like express yourself, but you know, you don't have to necessarily have to rip everybody's head off in the process if you've got to get something out of your system. And then you have sanctuary. Take time out from the world, spend more time alone, meditate, or go on a retreat. So for me, that feels like kind of like that high priestess energy for those that are trying to figure something out. It's like a timeout, a bit of a timeout to think clearly, is what I would say with that. Let me see what's on the bar. This is cute. Had a feeling this one would come out, to be honest. It's on the bottom of the deck, but I thought this one might have come out in the reading anyway, like this morning as I was getting ready and stuff. Friendship. Seek out your soul family. Surround yourself with positive people. Spend more time socializing. So where that Two of Cups came up before, I think it came up in the advice with the High Priestess about if you're avoiding resolving, or that word resolve again, fixing something in a relationship or addressing issues in a relationship, that friendship card comes in. You might want to consider, is there a real friendship here? Is there a real foundation of friendship? And that can be with everybody. You can have friendship with anybody. You can have friendship with a romantic partner. There can be friendship if you've got a good relationship with your parents. There's friendship within those relationships. There's an element of friendship in any close relationship, isn't there? There's always an element of friendship in there, so that you need to take that into consideration. If there's relationship issues that need to be resolved, how would friends resolve things? I mean, obviously, if the person's, whatever the nature of the relationship, you have to take that into account as well, but there is always a friendship element. This is a long reading. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for viewing the reading, and take care.